Good evening, Mr. Dugas.
Good evening.
I'm Malcolm Ogeron, and I'll be conducting your interview today.
Okay.
I will start by asking you some questions, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have at the end, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, to begin, Mr. Dugas, can you please take 1 to 2 minutes to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm 28 years old, married almost 2 years now. Have one kid. He's a son, 10 months old. I have a few hobbies: fishing, hunting. I love exercising my Second Amendment right. Big fan of LSU sports: baseball, football, basketball. Love watching all kind of sports on TV. Big fan of that. Currently enrolled in Nicholls State University in their 2+2 program, which allows me to get an associate's in petroleum engineering technology as well as safety management. I have about 6 months left till I receive both of those degrees. And I will continue my education getting a bachelor's in my petroleum engineering, either continuing at Nicholls or back at UL. I also want to get this job. I want to be able to move forward in a career, not just a job. And I want to be able to better myself.
Good. Well, we have many well-qualified applicants for this position. Can you please tell me why should we choose you?
Well, I have a broad experience in different jobs. I was a plumber, electrical, and did AC work for a couple years while I did my first stint in college, right out of high school. I also sold electrical supplies and also did warehouse management and shipping and receiving over there as well. I also spent 6 years with a safety company, Hiller Offshore. We did safety inspections on firefighting and life-saving equipment, as well as installations of fire and gas and suppression systems. And recently I was at Dynamic Industries as a structural fitter, building offshore modules, production modules, reading their drawings, and towards the end I was able to run my own crew after the first time doing it. Also, in those years of working, I had 0 incidents recorded for any safety violations. I have good technical skills with computer. We had to work with Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint as well. And also, like I said, I'm continuing my education, and I will continue to do so till I get a bachelor's and maybe even go for my master's in engineering.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Now, you said you had 0 safety things, nobody got injured, whatever. What has been the most stressful situation that you have experienced on a job, and what was the outcome of that situation?
Well, first that comes to mind, while I was at Hiller with those 6 years, I spent a few months in Seattle inspecting a few rigs and doing some installations up there. And while we were there, they had 3 fatalities. One guy, he fell from the derrick and he didn't make it. Another guy, they overloaded a crane and he fell in the water while he was still in the crane. Another guy, he was driving a forklift and the load fell on him. So with all that said, that made me really open my eyes to how important safety was, especially with me being in safety. But back then I didn't really think too much of it. But after seeing that, it opened my eyes to it, and it made me realize that the safety regulations were in place for a reason.
What do you think are your biggest strengths and your biggest weaknesses?
Well, my biggest weakness would probably be public speaking. I'm not a great public speaker. I get nervous speaking in front of a lot of people unless I get acquainted with them or I get to know them really well. Another one is I think I second guess myself too much. But that might be a strength as well, because when I second guess myself, I think about what should I have done, what could be done to better it, and I also get with the more qualified personnel or somebody that might know something better about it and make sure that it's done right or what can be done to do it right. My strengths would probably be teamwork. I work really well with people, different varieties of people. I worked internationally, so we had to work with different people of culture, races. So I worked really well with them. I got along with them. Also, my broad work experience, I think, is a strength. I've been able to do a lot of different jobs, and I've excelled at them. And I think my willingness to learn. I'm always ready to learn something. Anything needs to be done, I'm willing to learn it, do it correctly, and get it done.
Oh, good, good. That sounds good. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
Uh, it depends. With certain people, I could be very weird, depending on how they are. I would guess I would probably be about a 6 or a 7 on the weirdness scale, because I have a variety of hobbies and I love many different things that don't really go together. So probably about a 6 or a 7 on weirdness.
Well, that's good because with this job, it's got to be weird to take this job. Now, how do you feel about yourself getting this job?
I feel. Could you give a little more detail on that question?
Yeah, how would you feel like if I tell you right now that, we're going to hire you, how would you feel about it? Are you going to be one that's going to want to be here for years, or is this just a one job stop until the next one comes up? How do you feel?
Oh, I'd feel really good about it. I've been waiting to get this job, this interview. You told me today I'd get it. I'd be ready to start tomorrow. And like I said earlier, I'm not looking just for a job, but a career to stay here, move up, and be a good employee to this company.
Good. Well, Mr. Dugas, I thank you. This completes our interview today. And again, we want to thank you for the interest in this position and for taking time to meet with us. We will contact you once that we complete our interview process and reach a decision by the end of next week. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I believe that's all.
All right. Well, we'll be in touch. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too. Good evening, Mr. Orgeron.
Good evening.
I'm Brandt Dugas, and I will be conducting your interview today. I will start by asking you a few questions and give you the opportunity to ask any questions you may at the end of this. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. To begin, let's take 1 to 2 minutes and tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Malcolm Orgeron. I'm 40 years old. Been married for 13 years. Got 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. I went to college at Nicholls State. Played baseball at Nicholls State. Didn't get to finish. Went and played independent ball and put education on the side. And now I'm going back online. I'm also a principal at a small school, looking to get into a bigger school with bigger expectations, with more kids that I can reach out and try to get to the next level.
Okay, that's good. Well, we have many well-qualified applicants for this position. Why should we choose you?
I believe that to choose me, I would have to say that my background will speak for itself. To play minor league ball, then been coaching for 20 years, 16 as a head coach, 12 as an assistant, and then another 4 just being around it as a non-paid employee. So my background and my experience kind of, I would say, would hopefully put me ahead of everybody else.
Okay. Well, with coaching and getting out of playing ball and leaving school, what would be the most stressful situation you've experienced on the job, and what's the outcome of that situation?
The most stressful place of it has been trying to get these kids into colleges. You've got all these athletes throughout the U.S. and in other countries trying to get into college with college scholarships. So the most stressful part is to try to get these kids college scholarships, and that's by spending all kind of time by email, texting, on the phone with coaches, breaking down videos and sending it out. That's the most stressful, but the best part about it is when one of your kids get a college scholarship, that outcome it makes you forget about all that extra time that you put in.
Okay. Well, what do you think are your biggest strengths and weaknesses?
My biggest weaknesses first is that I have a big heart. I want to help as many people as I can, and I will stop doing stuff for my family and I'll go help all these other people first. And, I'll put my family on the back burner. So that's one of my biggest weaknesses. But it also is a big strength that I have a big heart because I love to help people as much as possible. So when I go out, most of the time I'll bring my family with me if I have to do a late night so we can spend time together. And I'll go up and extra beyond what I need to do to help these kids.
Okay. How do you think your coworkers would describe you?
Exciting, a little bit of crazy, weird, and also a nerd.
Okay. If a taxi and a limo arrived at the airport to pick you up, costing the same price, which would you take and why?
The taxi. Just because I don't want nobody to think, hey, that's a big timer right there in there. So I would take the taxi.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Ogeron. This completes our interview today. Again, we thank you for your interest in the position, for taking the time to meet with us today. We will contact you once we complete our interview process and reach a decision by the end of the week. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, we'll be in touch. Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you.